Welcome to the Agentforce Tour New York City. How are you all doing today? Good? Are you having a good world tour? Awesome. This is the introduction to Setup with Agentforce, and I'm sure you've seen this slide about 8 million times already today, but I'm going to show it to you one more time. Please only make purchasing decisions based on features that are generally available today, because we will be talking about some forward-looking roadmap topics. And before we jump in, I just wanted to thank so many of you. I see so many familiar faces here in my hometown of New York City, and I want to thank all of you for all of the feedback that you've given us over the years, and I hope when you see this product and you see what our roadmap for this product, that you see your feedback represented. And we want you to keep giving us feedback, so we wanted to say thank you to all of you. If we have not met before, my name is Cheryl Feldman. I'm a product manager in Platform, covering both Setup with Agentforce as well as user access. And I am joined by an incredible colleague today. Elizabeth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Cheryl. I'm a product manager for the Setup with Agentforce experience layer. My teams own a lot of the UI patterns and interaction patterns that you'll see today. So if you have feedback on that, we'd love to hear from you. Now we're going to start off by talking about setup today, or setup of the past. Salesforce is an incredible platform, right? That's why we're all here today. But over time, it's built out a lot of different features in a lot of different areas. And as it's built out all those features, as we've acquired those companies, we've built these capabilities into our platform, we've built up setup as well. And what we've heard from all of you is that it's started to become overwhelming. I want to do a quick quiz. How many of you know how many pages there are in setup? Does anyone guess 307? 694? 1,257? Over 3,000? Anyone? There are 1,257 pages in setup. So it's quite a bit to go through, to consume and understand how to manage your Salesforce instance. As Salesforce has grown, we have built out hundreds of configuration options. We've built these as our UI has changed, as our UI patterns have changed. So you can kind of see the history of Salesforce UI as you traverse setup, which is a little wild. And then what we've also heard from you is that the documentation can be difficult to find. It's difficult to understand what help page to go to, what trailhead to go to understand what to do on a specific page and how to set up a specific feature, and to be able to translate that to your business needs.
And so what are we doing about all these challenges? What are we doing? What we are doing is we are introducing Setup with Agentforce. And so now we are currently in pilot, but we're going to be going beta very soon. So what does this product do? We simplify configuration and troubleshooting. You will see in some of the demos some of the amazing things that we're going to help you do. We're also able to help support on some common tasks, as well as in-context help and navigation. Instead of going to the help and training site or to Google to find the right help doc and then navigate to the right page, we're able to help you right in setup.
So one of the first questions we get from all of you is, how can I trust it? The first thing is that this is not going to do anything you don't have permission to do already. So someone using the agent is not going to be able to complete tasks that they can't complete manually. The second is that it's always going to ask for confirmations before making any changes. So it will give you a preview of the change it's about to make, let you review before you confirm and those changes are made. All of the changes are tracked in the setup audit trail. There's a new column to indicate when something has been completed by an agent. And so when you have a change, when you go to the setup audit trail, you'll see the user that initiated it, the change that was made, and if it was made by Setup with Agentforce or not. Just like any other configuration changes you might want to make, the work can be completed in sandboxes, as is best practice for any changes. And then lastly, this is powered by the Atlas reasoning engine, so it has those guardrails in place. And if you go and you ask a question like, what's a good restaurant I can go to tonight in New York City? That's not within the framework and the guardrails that are there, and so it's not going to give you an answer to that question. Likewise, it's not going to make configuration changes to your org that are outside of those guardrails.
So, now that you heard all of that, do you want to see some demos? All right, Elizabeth, let's go.
Let's jump into some demos. So the first example I'm going to show is of object creation. And when we hop in to our new setup home, the first thing you can see is you can collapse that sidebar on the left-hand side. We have some new org health indicators here to give us a quick glimpse into what's going on in our org. And then in the center, we have our utterance box, and that's where we can enter our requests in simple natural language. Now, in this specific example, I want to create an object. So I said I want to track customer presentations using a digital customer visit object, and I also want to have this association between the two objects that I need for this use case. Now, the agent is going to review what's in our org today, and it's actually coming back and it's saying, there's already an existing object for you can use for one of these use cases, and then recommending that I'm going to create a new object for the presentations specifically. It gives me a chance to review that. I can go ahead and confirm it, and then once I confirm, it's going to go ahead and make those changes and give me a summary of the changes that it recently made. Now, I just want to call out that this metadata grounding is really powerful. So it's going to prevent somebody from going in and requesting a lot of new things when there are already things that meet those use case requirements in the org.
Okay, let's get into the next demo. But before we do that, wasn't that cool? Wasn't it cool that it could find stuff in the existing org instead of you having to search all through Object Manager? It was able to understand your metadata. So how many of you have struggled with something where you're like, oh my God, does this user have access to do something? And you're trying to figure that out. Raise your hand. How many hours have you spent doing this? Okay, let's get into the next demo. Okay, so if I have a user, Jose, and I need to understand if he has access to the customer visit object, what if I could just ask the agent, instead of having to go to the user, looking through the summary or looking through all the permission sets, what if it could just bring it to me what his object access is right there? And now, what if I said, you know what, he really needs edit access. So I want to find all the permission sets that are granting access to this object. Instead of having to go and search all throughout my permission sets and figure this out, it's brought right to me. And you know what? We want to assign the customer visit edit permission set. Instead of having to leave this experience and go do that, I can do it right from here. So I'm going to assign this right to Jose. And what this is going to do, this is going to give you a draft every single time so you are really confident on what the agent is actually doing. And we're going to go ahead and confirm that. And now we've updated Jose's assignments. Oh, we're not done, we've got more. And so now, what if we need to ask a question about a specific record? There's a Table Corp customer visit record. I want to know who can access it. That is a really complicated question to answer. What if we could show that to you right in line? And what if I say, you know what? I want his access to be similar to that of this salesperson who has access to a public group. What if I could just ask the agent to add him to the group? And it does it right there. Can you know how many clicks that is in setup today? And so this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to reduce clicks and help you answer questions faster. So again, it's showing you the list of groups. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with what the agent is doing, so we're putting things in front of you. So again, here's the draft. It's not doing anything until you say confirm and you're comfortable with it. Great. Now we've added Jose to this public group.
And that's it.
Now, let's actually take a look at Setup Audit Trail. So Elizabeth told you, how can you trust this? We've added another column to Setup Audit Trail to make sure you know exactly when you're making a change through an agent, it is right here in Setup Audit Trail. And so I want to make sure you know that we heard your feedback when you were first giving us feedback on this product. We did that right away, and that was from your feedback when we reviewed this at a previous World Tour. Now, Elizabeth, help and navigation. Talk to us about that.
So Setup with Agentforce supports 40% of admin tasks today, but it doesn't have specific actions that you've seen in those first two examples for every single thing that it supports. What about the scenarios where you have a question about something that the agent doesn't explicitly support yet? We still want to help you by navigating you to the appropriate page. Let's jump into a demo to see this in work. So in this example, the user is asking about debug logs. Now, this is a scenario where we don't have a specific agentic action to help with debug logs. But we do know that there is a page in Setup that can help with this, and there's also help in training documentation available for this specific question. What the agent is doing is it's providing a summary of the training documentation, and then it's also providing a link to that page. So I can go ahead and review this. It can take me right there. And we also have our agentic button on the upper right-hand side where we can open that agent back up, and it's going to give me that summary that I just saw to allow me to understand what I need to do to manage my debug logs.
Wait. Now we just showed you all those great demos. Can you believe there's more? All right, let's look at what else we can do with the agent. So you saw some of the user management and user access and the data model capabilities, as well as the navigation and guidance. We also help you create a flow, and even something cooler, we help you summarize a flow. How many of you have looked at a flow that maybe somebody else created and you're like, what is this thing doing? You can summarize it. And then also org health and usage helps you understand what's going on in your org, helping you understand formulas, and some much needed identity actions to help you migrate your connected apps. So really a lot of stuff in this pilot. It's really, really exciting.
Now, what about the future? So we mentioned that Setup with Agentforce currently supports 40% of the main admin tasks. And we've gone in priority order based on your feedback and based on the use pages in Setup. But we still want to extend and support the other areas of Setup as well. Now, I'm going to show an architecture slide. Don't worry, it's not overly complex. But I want to give you a little bit of insight into what we're doing today. Today, we're actually building out very specialized actions for the actions that we support. Now, this is not going to scale to all 1,257 pages, and so we need to find a way to make this more scalable. What we're moving towards is building in deep research, grounding our agent with all of our help and training documentation, all of our admin and developer blogs, all of the developer documentation as well. And then moving towards a more generic action model. So rather than create an object, create metadata, and be able to support additional use cases more generically.
And so what are we considering for the roadmap? We're considering things around feature enablement, Setup Audit Trail, not just entries in Setup Audit Trail. What if we could help you troubleshoot using Setup Audit Trail? And you could answer the question, well, my user had access to do this on Monday, and now it's Wednesday, and they don't have access to do it. What happened? What if we could do something like that? More with formulas, more with layouts and lightning pages, sandboxes. There's a lot that we're considering for our roadmap right now. And we want your feedback. Come talk to us. We also have a booth here. We want to hear your feedback. What would you like to see this agent do?
So we've just thrown a lot at you. I just want to kind of give a high-level summary. We did release the pilot as of Dreamforce in October. We are Safe Harbor shooting for a beta in January of 2025, which is going to have additional actions, support, additional org health indicators, and some quality improvements. We're targeting a GA around the timeframe of TDX, and the GA will incorporate that more generic action support and that roadmap to support additional features and additional areas of setup. And so that wraps up what we had to cover today.